Hey, this is Objective 19, Active Directory. This challenge is the continuation of the certificate shenanigans, which was the continuation of Azure 101. So this is the main storyline. Now all the objectives will be connected and they all feed into the big finale. So this challenge is rated 4 out of 5 Christmas trees. It's a little bit tougher one. I think it's arguable whether you find this one harder and the certificate shenanigans easier. So one Christmas tree difference is kind of depending on your background, but there are quite a few hints for this one, including the reportinator ones, which are kind of hidden. And the reason why it is really good to create these videos is that I discover new things. I already discovered while I was making these videos, which are usually just one single take, so that's why you're seeing me doing bloopers. I saw someone already commenting on one of the videos that they were literally yelling at the screen that I should disable from basic store in CyberChef, so that was really cool. And the other thing is that I discover Easter eggs, new things in the game. And I just discovered an Easter egg when I was preparing to create this video. So let me show you that, and then we'll see the challenge itself. Right, so for this challenge, we need to travel to a different part of the steampunk island. And I already sailed to this location. Once we enter here, we're not going to get a new objective because we already have the objective for Active Directory listed here. Now I do have the ambient music and the actual music turned off, but I do want to show you the Easter egg. Now this is something that you can easily identify by looking at the background activity of the game, these WebSocket messages. I don't have an interception proxy now because we don't really need this one for this challenge, but I copied here the set entities message that you will see coming to your client. And as I mentioned earlier, you can see the type of entities that are present in the current scene that you're located with your character, and you have here NPC type characters. There's the goose of the steampunk island. We have Rib Bonford, who is Bon Beaufort, sorry, who is the elf for the challenge, and then a character named Jason. And I couldn't recall any elves called Jason. The location is displayed here. I was poking around based on my location, so there's the move character call that you can use to find out the appropriate position of your character on the map. And I already showed you with, for example, the Game Boy challenges, how you can find the Game Boy cartridges based on that map. That is under the grid variable when you look at the and scene messages. And Jason is located in this part of the island. So let me just jump here real quick. I want to remind myself to create probably a time stamp so you can jump there. And Jason is over here. He's a dead fish. Well, according to him, he's not dead. I'm just soaking up the sun's gnarly vibes, bro. He's just Jason is just sunbathing, apparently. So that's one of the Easter eggs. I'm going to mark this one probably with a separate timestamp. So on to the challenge, but I thought that this was hilarious. So it's one of the little Easter eggs that you can find if you just look at some of the clues. I'm not sure why my character is navigating to the wrong direction. And you don't really need to be here in this part of the island to solve this challenge, but you do want to talk to the little elf because we're gonna get some hints in the dialogue. So after discovering the vulnerabilities of the certificate services for SSH, with Alabaster. Now we're also going to evaluate the security of their Active Directory infrastructure. They're concerned about a certain file share that contains very sensitive like research thingy data. I don't remember exactly the story, so you can read up on the story with the conversations. But we get one extra hint here for Active Directory. We already got one from Alabaster, so I should have maybe I forgot to do that one. Okay, I think there should be two. Let me just verify that one. If we missed one, I can easily go and pick it up. I might have forgotten to talk to Alabaster after completing the captain's no, that wouldn't be in the captain's the certificate shenanigans. I'm gonna check this one real quick. Active Directory. Yeah, we should have misconfiguration adventures, which we do not have. I'm gonna pick that one up because it is really important. So this requires me to teleport real quick to the, I believe it was Pixel Island and Rainrester Cliffs, I think. So yeah, I was kind of rushing here at the end of that challenge because I think the SSH shenanigans was about like half an hour to solve it, not as long as the captain's comms. So I expected this one will be kind of long, but the game itself for this challenge is just required to get the hints and then submit the final one. Yeah, there we go. So you do want to pick up the misconfiguration adventures hint as well. Alabaster is complaining that it's so mind-blowing that Chad MPT was making recommendations on creating this certificate service for SSH, and then it turns out it was vulnerable. It almost feels like intentional. So there's some shady things going on here with the narrative. And now, armed with these two hints, misconfiguration adventures, talking about Active Directory certificate services. So that's one of the hints that we're getting. The other one is useful tools installed on that system that we used for the SSH challenge. Now, you still need the keys for this challenge from that one. So this is really like a direct continuation of that challenge. Now, one other thing that I want to draw your attention to is the Reportinator. So in the Reportinator, we had two vulnerabilities tied to this one. One is Active Directory Certificate Services based vulnerability. Talks about a tool called Certify, which is probably the best tool out there, one of the best tools out there. I think there's another one from the same guys who create Rufus and Seedbelt. I'm not sure if it's I can't remember if it's Bishop Fox maybe, or maybe I'm mistaken. But anyways, there's another C# based tool. I like Certify. It's a really good tool for this to map out vulnerabilities related to Active Directory certificate services. And I think there's Certify is the C# one. I think it's Spectre Ops actually, but I can't remember exactly. Doesn't matter because we have to use Certify for this challenge. That's the one that is installed in the VM. We also got the tip to use find-vulnerable. This will give a shorter output that is easier to review. And the other vulnerability here mentions Azure Key Vault over the permissive access from Azure Virtual Machine Metadata Service / Managed Identity. This almost tells us what to do. So what we need next is to jump on the VM that we used, and now we have access as Alabaster. So the previous challenge ended up us sort of escalating our privileges and use the admin principal instead of the ELF principal with the monitor account. We're going to log in as Alabaster. typing in the passphrase for my key. And this account has a few useful tools installed. You probably immediately saw Impacked here. So this is the Impacked tool with a ton of useful Python scripts. We're not even going to use half of it. I think I use maybe 2 of these, but those are very, very crucial for this challenge. And the other thing that is installed is if I could type certify, which is the tool that you can use to enumerate Active Directory certificate services. So with these tools, we can get started, but these tools will require us the knowledge of the Active Directory server, the domain name, we need credentials. So there's a ton of things that are just not available for us. Now, one of the hints, sort of speaking, from the Reportinator was on Azure and leveraging the metadata service. So just like before, I'm gonna switch here. So these are the notes for Reportinator, and that's the one that we can check. Now, we don't have the AZ command, but just like with this certificate, SSH certificate challenge, we can leverage the metadata service. So this was the Microsoft documentation that we leveraged, and we used cur to get an access token, and then we can enumerate resources in Active Directory. So I'm going to do that. So this is just going to the metadata service because we already figured out that there's a managed identity for this VM that we're using. And then we're just going to grab an access token. So this access token is for management@azure.com. This will have significance in this challenge. So we do have now a token. What I want to do next is going for the REST API in the management API and list the resources of this subscription. There's a list command here that you can check. And as you can see, you have to make a request like such with the subscription ID to list out all the resources. This is very useful because in I'm just going to take note of this list command here. In an Azure tenant, it is, if you ever used, for example, the portal, the Azure portal, you probably noticed that it's kind of hard to navigate and get the resources. There's a resources tab. This is basically the API call for that tab. So you can list out all the resources under subscription. You don't have to go to different resource groups this way. For the subscription ID, we already have that one from previous challenges, and it was this one. So the entire command, and I'm just going to paste in the cur command part, and then we're going to add the authorization token afterwards here, -s-jq, just to be sure. So this command is just going and filling out the blanks here for the subscription that we already know. And then playing the screen here, we get back apparently 2 resources with this command. And these 2 resources are all key vaults. That's awesome because we're looking for credentials, and often the Azure Key Vault service is the one that has those juicy credentials for us. Now, the next order of business is to query these key vaults. And they also have their own API reference. So if you just continue on browsing this, you can also search here for Key Vault. You will see the various commands available. There's also in this article secret operations. That sounds interesting, right? So we can get secrets. This is listing out all the secrets, and then getting a specific secret is with get secret. I think both of these are interesting for us. To get a secret, we need to know the name of the secret. So first we need to list them out with this command. Yeah, we can use this one, max results. I think it's just to avoid having like a lot of paginated data. Doesn't matter which one we use. So this is going to require us to get a vault base URL, and that one is something that you can piece together, or here you get an example on how the base URL looks like. So the vault base URL is the name of the vault. Let's start with this one. Actually, you know what? Yeah, no, let's start with that one. The other one I'm also going to show you briefly. We don't have access to this one, and it's probably related to SSH certs. We already solved that one. So this here can act as a base URL for one of the vaults. And then the rest of the command is going to be very similar. And if you solve the challenge, you know that this is not going to work. So spoiler, but I want to demonstrate this, because I'm pretty sure this is something that a lot of people bump into, and it is very, very common. Certainly when I started with Azure and learned how to do like penetration tests against Azure, I was very confused with this one. So the error message is here, like I said, it won't work. And if you read the error message, it says that it was expecting vaultazure.net, but it got managementazure.com. Now this one is really just looking into the access token. So let me just show jvd.io here real quick. And sure thing, accept all. And this is terrible. They don't do this with actual access tokens. Okay, this is just for demonstration purposes. So I'm just dropping here a credential. This is all done locally according to the site. Still, I don't think it's a good idea. So, but you can just base these 64 the string, the payload part that is. And what we have here is in the payload part the service that this bearer token is valid for. So when we requested the access token, we were accessing the resource managementazure.com, but these resources, Vault API, is a completely different service. It requires a different authorization token, a different bearer token. So we need to get a new bearer token for Vault services, and you can do it this way. So you replace managementazure.com with Vault Azure, and it's .NET, top level domain. So that's another fantastic thing to remember, or just read the documentation carefully. So we get a new access token here. That's super duper important to use this one. So I'm going to go back to my previous curl command, and I'm going to replace the access token with this one. This is for Vault, and check it. Okay, see, so this is now correct. This is for Vault. I'm gonna grab this one from here, replace it. That does look suspicious with the coloring. Authorization bearer and ID, because at the end it has a double quote. Oh, I think I know what the mistake was. It should be good like this. If not, then I will retry. You need some bloopers in these. Bad parameter, aim max resources. Okay, let me just try this one once more. I just want to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. Oh yeah, I don't really need these max results part. I think I'm just going to omit this part here. That was a limit on how many results you want to get. That was max results. You can just set it to 1 if you want to, but this is enough for our needs. So this returned for this key vault 1 secret, which is the temp add user script. All right, I do want to check the other vault as well, just super quick. That one shouldn't work because we don't have the rights to access that one. So you need to replace here the vault name, and the whole thing should be still the same. Yeah, and we're getting forbidden access denied. So that's cool. So for this one, this secret, the get secret command is what we would like to next issue to the API. This requires vault-based URL, secret name, secret version, and so on. So let's just pick this whole thing here. And then for this, I think we can just steal the ID that was returned. Secret name, secret version does not matter. So if we just take the secret version like this, then it takes the latest version. This is, I believe, mentioned in the documentation. Yeah, so this part is optional. If not present, then latest version of the secret is returned. So this is going to be perfect for us. And we get back this nice, exciting result. So just taking the value part here and massaging it a little bit. I'm going to do new lines here for all the semicolons. So we have the username, the user domain, the user UPN is, yeah, it's constructed. There's is a password here, DCIP, and this last part is not that interesting from this script. So we have a username, a domain, and a password, also the IP address of the Active Directory server. And that's pretty much all we need to move forward. So the next order of business is to run certify with these parameters. Let me just get the URL for certify and show you this tool. So certify, I'm gonna drag this one here. Certify is going to allow us to check for a vulnerable Active Directory certificate services. With certificate services, you can do various privilege escalation attacks, and it can also just pull the data from the Active Directory certificate service, which then you have in JSON format, text format, and also Bloodhound ingestible format. I did took out the Bloodhound output and put it in the, you need a specialized version of Bloodhound to handle those objects. It's referred under the same account, so Liak, Oliver Liak, I think, is how you pronounce it, has the let's check repositories, a Bloodhound fork that works with Certify. So you want to get the Liak version of it. You download it here. It's haven't been updated for a while, but it works really well with Certify. So you would use 2 versions of Bloodhound in that case. If you have a newer version, probably you have objects that you want to fit into Bloodhound. So I always have 2 Bloodhound versions when we do like a penetration test. So find is the command that we want to run. And we already know that there's a -vulnerable option there. This will create a much smaller output. And we're going to use these freshly obtained credentials to do that. I'm going to show you here real quick the command. So this is find vulnerable. We use the username. You need to provide it in more like a UPM so user principal format, the password, and the IP address of the domain controller. This will go and then fetch the information about certificate services. Yeah, don't worry about the temporary issues here. If you see that the text and the JSON file is there, also the Bloodhound data can be used, then you're good to go. So I'm just gonna pick this one here in our notes, and then let's check. Oh, I'm in the impacted directory, so let's check what we got. Oh, and now it ended up in the impacted directory. Gonna move it out from there. These are all date hashed, I think. I think there's maybe Bloodhound, or what was the name? No, this is just a zip file. Okay, so now I should have all the files finally here out there. Yeah, I forgot to get out from the impacted directory. It's not an issue if it's there, of course. So here, certified JSON is probably the one that is the most interesting. So let's quickly check. You know what? I can also just do it with JQ. I know some people probably freak out at this point. Why am I catting into JQ? I always cat files and then I decide where I want to send the output to. So please forgive me. Go easy on me for catting and not using the actual tool. I know that you can read this with JQ as well. So this file here contains all the information that we need to further our attack. We have the CA name for this domain controller, node port MPDC, the DNS name, so that's the domain controller's name, and then there's a certificate template. So we asked certified just to list out the vulnerable components, and this is a vulnerable template that is vulnerable to the escalation 1 type of attack. Now, what is that? So escalation 1 is probably the best type of vulnerability, the easiest one, because this allows us to go to the certificate service and issue a certificate with a different UPN that we can then use to authenticate. So this is based on subject authentic names. This essentially means that we can add another user principal to our certificate and then authenticate with that one. The subject authentic names is used also in HTTPS. In this case, if you have a UPN listed there, you can authenticate as that user with that certificate, even though that's not your actual identity maybe. And then with HTTPS, you can use subject authentic names to have multiple domains listed in a certificate, and either of them occurs in traffic, the client browser will accept it. So this is a really convenient thing, but if it's misconfigured, it can lead to horrible things. And that's the case with this scenario. And so we need to craft a new certified command that will require a lot of components from our side. So it looks like this, and let me just go to my notes because I collected here a couple of things. Oh yeah, before doing that, so we need to have a target, some other target UPN. So we're going to do a little bit of enumeration, plus we need to figure out where the file share is. So that's where we can leverage the in-packet tool that is installed here. So the first thing that we're going to do is get Active Directory users, and we're going to enumerate with our user all the Active Directory users. Now, the story, if you read it through, talks about, I'm going to get rid of this one for the time being, talks about a file share that is for the research and development department. We are impersonating the Alfie user here. Alabaster might be potentially interesting for us, but Wombly, we know it from past conversations that he is the head of research here in Geese Island, so he is probably a more interesting target. The other thing, so we're going to use his user as a user principal target. The other thing is to figure out where the file share is. Now, this was kind of a leap of faith for me because there's no indication. You can I'm not sure if we have like mmap or something like that installed here. No, just it seemingly just impacted and certify. So I made the guess that since we only know one system here, the share must be on the domain controller. And SMB client is another tool here. Apparently, we are connected. So you can list out the various commands that SMB client can do. And one of them is shares. So this lists out all the shares. We have the usual suspects here for a domain controller, like net logon, sysvol, the $, admin $, there's the $, as well. And there is a file share one. So you can use, use, and then you really need to right click on it, the file share, list out the contents, and we already see the super secret research directory. That's the one where we need to get to. There's also a to-do txt. This might be, oh, no tab completion here. Okay, that's a bummer. Txt, which says this is restricted for access. Still, I want to try it just to be sure. You know, you always need to, when you see a door, you just like pull the door handle, making sure that maybe the door is open and you can just walk right in with permission. So if you do a penetration test, that is. And we see that we don't have access to it. That would have been too easy, right? But we know the share, we know the user principal that we want to target. So let's craft our command for certify. So I'm going to grab it now. And we need a lot of different things for this. I created a short list at this point. Yeah, which is weirdly formatted because of the weird like backtick here in the password. So what we need to do is we need a username, we need a password. Okay, we do have that one. We need a CA, we know that one from the certify output, right, from here, so we can take that one. We need a target, so this is the domain itself. Template is already something that we know. Again, from the certified output, we know that North Pole users is a oneable certificate. UPN, so that's going to be our target user, Wombly. And then DNS, again, this is available for us from the certified output. So we have all the components here, down to the very last one. Almost. This will not work again, but I want to demonstrate how you can figure out what you need to do. So I actually did it this way, like, all right, I have everything, go for it, certify. And it fails miserably because it is not able to resolve corp local? No, that's the wrong. That's the wrong command. That's from that is from certify. So I here substituted all the parameters, right? So that's a different reason why this command wouldn't work. The actual command here is still failed to resolve, but now North Pole local. Right. I really like that this tool says, hey, if you want to find out more, do a -debug. And usually that's super helpful to figure out what went wrong. And the issue is that it's trying to resolve this at this IP address, which is, yeah, not exactly the domain controller and the domain that we're trying to attack. So to fix this, what you can do is you can add one more parameter. I'm going to add two more just for getting a detailed output, but you can define the DCIP, which is the last piece that we need here really, and we already have that one. And this will try to use that domain controller's DNS service to do the resolution for this target domain. And this time we are rewarded with this certificate file here. Just going to put the output here. So we have now this new file. And if you want to, you can also try to, I wonder if this will work like this. Invalid command, no, I think it's X509. I think I managed to forget this from my notes. I believe it's text and then in. I never know OpenSSL syntax that well. Let's see if this one works. I think it should. This is just checking. Yeah, okay, it worked. So this is just checking if this is a valid certificate. We should see here the UPM for Wombly Cube. So this is looking good. And why is this cool? With this attack, once we have this certificate, we can use it to authenticate to the Active Directory. So there's the auth command for certify, which we can use to authenticate. And as you can see, eventually we can get back a hash for that user, but using the certificate. So without any, well, this kind of works as a credential because you authenticate with the certificate. And the reason why we can get that certificate is because there's this misconfiguration present in this environment. So at this point, we want to impersonate Wombly Cube. It's kind of weird that this tool is trying to go to the DNS server, and you can actually get a hash back. I think it's for a computer account. Kind of weird, but we do need Wombly Cube's credentials, and here is the NT and LM hash. Well, the LM hash is empty in this case, but the LM hash is not that interesting. The NT hash is the one, which is this one here, that we're looking for. And you might be wondering, okay, what do I need to do with this next? Should we crack it? And you can certainly try that, but SMB client from Impacket does accept hashes. Pretty much all the Impacket tools do accept it. So you can just, you know, pass this hash to authenticate to the Active Directory, and for that you need the dash hashes. So we're doing the same thing, but not with Alfie, with Wombly Cube, and instead of providing the password, we're going to authenticate to this file share with the hash shares use file share list cd into this directory. And this time, no access denied. And we have this little file here. And we can cat out the content of that file. Now, the content of the file will be needed for the next challenge. So I'm going to save this one aside for sure. And I also need the name of the file, because in order to complete the challenge, so this is done. We're almost done here. The last thing that remains is to submit this name of the file and then get the achievement and a new piece of the narrative. So we only have now 4 pieces missing. We're very, very close. And then we can have this elf tell us how amazed he is. And he's kind of suspecting that something is off with ChatMPT here. But that's going to be for the next challenge. So pretty cool challenge overall. I think this was one of my favorites, together with the SH1. Very realistic, very real life-like vulnerabilities, ton of things to learn about. So I really enjoyed this one. I think the Captain's Comms was also a one that I really enjoyed going through. But these two are definitely great for just learning about very realistic things that you will encounter hopefully in someone else's environment and not in yours. But if you encounter them in your environment, then you know what to look for, and then you can fix those vulnerabilities. So really cool challenge overall. The next one is a very easy one, but it's also an awesome challenge. So check it out, as we're going to use an AI tool to kind of bypass multi-factor authentication and synthesize someone's voice.